Okay, so looks like everybody can see the presentation, and I'll end the poll and maybe share the results here. Most of you have come across the webinar from LinkedIn, and then I think from the email and then WhatsApp. So I'll say welcome again to this webinar about Excel and Power BI. Uh, I welcome the presenters also. We have Captain John Bosco with us. I have Jayshree Tawari, who will be the instructor for the Excel part, as well as Mr. Aaquib Javed, who is an excellent trainer for Power BI. So, Disha, can you go to the next slide, please? Right. So, I'll just set some ground rules for the webinar to make it more convenient and useful for everyone. As you have logged in from your various devices, I'll request you once again to, if where possible, rename it to your name. So it will be much better if we know with whom we are interacting rather than we are interacting with Samsung or Vivo or some other brand name. So that's my first request. And then the speaking rights are provided to the presenters for now. And we'll be interacting mainly through chats. Any questions you have during the presentation or during the webinar, you feel free to put that in the chat. But most likely we'll be taking the questions at the end of the webinar. But we'll try to take more all the questions and answer your queries towards the end. Right. So we will, as you know, this topic for the today's webinar is about the Excel and Power BI. And Disha, you can go to the next slide, please. Right. So we have our first presenter. We have Captain John Bosco Moniz, who is working as GM at Anglo-Eastern Maritime Services. He has a very extensive sailing background from 17 years, and including as a master. He has served in various uh, capacities in quality, health and safety, in operations, as well as in business transformation. So we are glad to have you, Captain Bosco, with us. He has also completed his MBA from SP Jain, and that includes double gold medalist. So I'm in awe of him now, feeling very much inspired. And then he is also pursuing his this AI for business from SP Jain. And from his profile, what we understand, where I've interacted with him, he has been a major role in driving the digital innovation part in his current role. And he's taking a lot of initiatives, innovative ideas in integrating the digital part into the marine atmosphere. So welcome, Captain John Bosco here. To understand the demography of the audience, I'll request you to answer this. In the meantime, I'll introduce the other two presenters. Disha, can you go to the next slide, please? Right. So we have Ms. Jayshree with us. She has been a advanced Excel trainer and for other Microsoft Office technologies also. She has a vast experience of around 8+ years. She has been training into various corporate houses. She has a very extensive knowledge about Excel and even Power BI, and she has been conducting these courses for us for I think last 4 or 5 batches. Even I have been trained by her in when I was in one of the previous batches, and she has been an excellent trainer. I must say that, and she listens to the candidates patiently, responds to their queries very patiently, and there is no point in asking her again and again because she takes her time and she responds to each and every query during the course. So I welcome Ms. Jayshree again here. Uh, Very much delighted to have you here. And then we have Mr. Aaquib Javed, who will be taking the classes for Power BI module in the similar course. He has been a supply chain consultant. He's currently working with AP Moller Maersk. He's a certified data analyst, and as you can see, his profile very different education. As you can see, he has done his BTech from BTech Mechanical Engineering from BIT, and then he did his MBA in finance, and then he had a micro masters from MIT, and now he's into corporate training in Power BI, Excel, and other solutions, IT solutions. So welcome, Akib. Welcome to the webinar. I look forward to hear from you more. And while we have completed the poll here, so I can see I just shared the results here for the understanding of the presenters also. We have top four who have been sailing most of the audience here. And we have a mixed group people who have not been to sea also. So we have some audience who has not been to sea, but they are working ashore in different capacities. We have people who have sailing background who have already moved ashore. So it's a good mix of audience to cater to, and I hope we will be able to make it useful for them to attend this webinar. So I'll move to the next slide and stop this. Right, Disha, can you go to the next, please? Right. So why we are doing this webinar and why we are conducting this course, I'll just take a few minutes to make it clear here. That while we are handling a lot of Excel, Microsoft Office, and you can see then each and every job JD that is being posted online for various roles, it's always been asked that person should be proficient in say Microsoft Office. What do we mean by proficiency in Microsoft Office? It is varying by different levels. It can be that I know how to use Microsoft Word. I know how to use basic functions of Excel. But then what is the expectation from a company when they are asking to employ you? And how better knowledge and advanced use of Excel and say Power BI or similar tools can help you elevate your daily work, managing it better, efficiently, and then be more productive during your day-to-day jobs. So this is not only related to your say office curriculum or office job, even in your day-to-day personal scenarios, like if you are managing your finances, you are handling a lot of data for say your personal finance, stocks, mutual funds. So I have seen people making simple spreadsheets which are helping them attain understanding their portfolios, understanding their return of interest rates. So it all depends on how efficiently you want to manage your data. And I think we have the presenters to tell us that Excel is one of the best tools to make sense of the data. Uh, so far, I think where we have been limited is to use and see the data in a very tabular form, whereas the data can be presented into a very beautiful visual and easy to understand form itself. So that is why we have seen that there is a gap between what is being required from the people who are employing you and people who have just shifted from say from sailing background, or they want to shift. So this proficiency, this efficiency in Microsoft tools is lacking somewhere, and this is our effort to bridge the gap there. uh, and this has been started by Captain Gaurav, who is just sitting here taking a back seat for me to run the webinar. But this is his brainchild, and very thankful to him to make it possible to bridge that gap and make us understand that what we can do with this data and what do we have to have a better understanding of this Microsoft Office usage. So it will of course help you out whether you are working on shore, whether you're working on ship, to perform your daily tasks in a much better and efficient way. And that is our expectation from this course for now. Abhisha, you can go to the next slide, please. Yeah, this will be okay. Yeah. So from here, I'll maybe hand over to Captain Bosco, who has much better understanding of why we need to understand this data in a better format, in a better efficient way. So Captain Bosco, over to you. I look forward to your insights here.
Thank you, Vineet, and thank you to C and Beyond for actually having this initiative. And I appreciate this opportunity. So, to begin with, it's very important to understand that learning anything with respect to the digitalization framework is an investment in yourself and in the investment in your organization as well. Okay. And the slide actually says it all. There's a lot of data which is coming from not only vessels, but also from ports, also from industries, and also all over the place, which has to be used and analyzed on a day-to-day basis. And the very basis of every analytics platform is an Excel or a Power BI, Tableau. And of course, if you want to run some scripts, it's on Python. So this kind of infrastructure is already in place, and it's very important that all of us understand that this is part of the day-to-day of every every person working ashore or even on board now. Okay, so and as we seen in the last slide, one of the most important thing is today is to improve efficiency and reduce costs, which has become the basis of every organization. So to do this, you would need to have a very good skill set on working with the different digital tools. Okay, if you don't mind, go to the next slide, please. Oh, do we have a poll here? I think. Vineet? Okay, we just run a short poll. Okay, right. I seen that the different the audience has got a very good mix of a lot of senior officers, almost 30%, and 30% of people are working ashore. So there's a lot of different use cases which are available. How we are taking a simple example of a ship which has got various amount of data coming out. And believe you me that each one of you who has been on a ship has actually been doing a lot of analytics or analysis of data from the time you start working on board. Okay, so it's nothing new that you will be doing in the sense, but you would need to hone that skill in different ways. So to give you an example, you were always used to looking at a typical radar screen and analyze the data in this and process it in your mind. Okay, but when you come ashore and you would be looking at it from different angles, it would be very important that you would be able to understand and use a large amount of data to make to deliver some kind of insights either to your own self or also to your work. Okay, and I can see the poll results, which is fantastic. It says that people are already experiencing it in their professional life, which is really great. It's almost 60% odd. Okay.
I'll just end the poll here and I'll share the results here. So 60% they know that it's going to affect their professional lives, which is a positive result. And even say 30 more percent or something like that, they know that it's going to affect their professional lives or in their career. So we have a good understanding that somehow it is going to be used in daily life. I'll
Yeah.
let you then again continue.
Yeah. Next slide, please. Right. So if I would relate this to any other industry, because you also have a lot of people who are not from a sailing background and working maybe in shore organizations or other industries, we have to understand that these are the 9 pillars which you can see of the industry 4.0 or the new way of working in any industry. Okay. And if you look at it, if you any of the industries which you're working in, any of the companies which you're working in, would be related to one of these pillars in some way or the other. Okay, maybe from a maritime perspective or not, but you would have something or something related to one of these pillars, if not now, but at least in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, which your companies will be using these tools. And the basis of all these tools is to understand how data is structured on the back end, how to utilize it on everyday basis, how to visualize it, and also how to give insights, as I said before. So if you look at these might be looking like a higher level of analytics, but the basis is still, where you start is at this level where you start at the Excel and the Power BI kind of data analytical tools. Okay, can I go to the next slide, please? Right. So many of you think that, okay, I learned some digital tools and I'll get a job and I must break this thing to you right away. It's not that way. Your skills as a mariner, your skills as on communication, your skills on various different aspects are very, very important. This is a minimum now to have skills on digitalization, which is working around different tools. Okay. So it will help you open doors for sure. It will help you stand out from the rest. But this will only come into action once you're in and when you start working more efficiently. Okay. Everybody would like to have a colleague who can work faster, who can work more efficiently and handle more work. At the same time, make other people work better as well. Okay, so it's a basis of for you. It's very important for you to understand and learn the digital tools from the start. Okay. I think we have another poll here. Vineet? Yeah. So what is your level of understanding on different tools and specifically on Excel here? Okay.
To please participate in the polls. This gives us the understanding of how we can serve you better, how we can improve on the core content also. I'll just take a few more seconds here. But Captain Bosco, as you can see, I think we have said almost 40% basic to intermediate. So
That's great.
I'll end the poll here and I'll share the results.
So I think we can see here that most of almost everybody must be using it in the day-to-day life. I mean, of course, most of us are self-taught and learned it on the job. But I think it'll be really it's definitely an important thing to understand it the right way and have it learned in a more structured way as well. Yeah, great. That's fantastic. Okay. Can we go to the next slide, please? Okay. Uh, there are a lot of careers for mariners with digital skills, okay? And I must say that it's required in each and every career in the marine field right now. So previously we would want to believe that it's only for particular roles, like roles which are analytical roles will require digital skills. However, if you ask me, or in my personal opinion, what I see in the industry is that your maritime skills, if you combine it with a good understanding of data and how things are operating, you can actually leverage these tools to optimize the way you work, your teams work, and make decisions much faster. Okay. So if you look at large companies, that amount of data which comes in from their vessels, of their crew, of their engines, and everything related to that decision making, if you start making it with if you don't have the right skills to analyze and visualize it, then it is very difficult to make decisions quickly. And I would like to summarize and say that it is very important that you will contribute to the organization much better if you have these kind of skills with you. Okay, thank you. If you can go to the next slide, please. Yeah. Vineet?
Yeah, so I think Gaurav, you can take this while I run a poll after this.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much, Vineet, and thank you so much, Captain Bosco, for give us a summary of how it's how the the industry is changing, the kind of data which is coming in, and what are the career progression that a mariner could look at. At the end of the day, it honestly comes down to what kind of jobs would a person want, and something which Vineet touched upon is, and what we're trying to do is that companies are struggling to get people who understand shipping and who understands a little bit of technology, and people want to get into companies and into a different profile, not the similar profile as a marine superintendent or the run of the mill profiles. And that's where we want to bridge that gap by providing those trained people to these companies, right? And so once you get trained, what are the roles that you could get into, right? And it's starting from, say, a voyage analyst. That's a basic business analyst. As a business analyst, what you do is you understand the requirement from from a client or from a business, convert it into a document which can be read by the technology team, and then developed into a software, right? But you need to understand business and you need to understand a bit of technology. Then vessel performance manager, digitization manager will probably be a project manager kind of a role. And there's a difference between project manager and product manager that I'll keep it for another day. But essentially, once you start understanding about technology and all, that those are the roles that you could get to. Data scientist, far fetched for now because it's just the start, and then finally the entrepreneurs. But what we are trying to do in this particular thing with Excel and BIs is a very, very basic start point. And the reason for us to do this is that if you understand this and if you start enjoying it, if you start really, enjoying data, enjoying the analysis, that's the time when you can then move to the next part of, maybe getting into a product, maybe a data scientist, maybe on the performance, or finally entrepreneurship. But this is for you to check whether you understand, whether you love uh, what is on offer. You can, of course, get a job using this. We've got at least 3 or 4 people who have done our course and who have got jobs. But this is a starting step to do something much bigger.
Yeah, like said, I'll just run a poll here. So just to understand, do you think that using of Excel and say Power BI or similar tools will help you to be more efficient? Like if you have a person who understands and uses this very much efficiently and a person who is just going through it, if you have to choose one of them, who would you choose? So we have people in the audience who have make some have been using Excel sheets and maybe big user of the data. So I'll say stop the poll after say a few more seconds. Let people comment and then we can move to the actual part. Okay, so we have a comment where Jay Kishan said all the oil record book calculations are done using Excel sheets. So that's an excellent idea, but of course, how best we can leverage the knowledge and make the data work for us. That's I think where Aaquib and Jayshree will chip in here. So I'll just share the results for everyone to understand that we have around say 51% who have been using Excel in their daily lives, and same way 41% who have been almost daily into the data analysis. So some sort of data analysis. So I'll stop this here. I'll go here. Why we have chosen this Excel and Power BI for maritime flavor? Because see, I mean, these courses to learn Power BI or to learn Excel, uh, we can say that why don't I go to the YouTube or say Udemy or Coursera and learn Excel from there? What's differentiating factor? What I'll get as an additional bonus here. So the idea is, you have seen Aaquib has been working with Maersk and Jayshree has been the trainer with us. She of course is doing the training for various corporate houses, but she has understanding of what is the need of the audience. And when we get the examples from our day-to-day life, the data that we handle on board, like your HSC KPI data for your LTIs, for your days away from work cases, or say incident analysis data for engineers, you can say your main engine data in various forms, your noon reports, how it is being collated into various sheets, and how best we can use it to analyze and have some sense out of it is what the additional flavor will be for this particular course. All the examples that we will use later on will be based on some sort of data from maritime background. And that's where I think it identifies itself as a bridging gap, because and it doesn't have to be that you are looking only for transitioning to the shore job. When you go back to sea, there also you can have an understanding that how best you can use this data and be more efficient. I will say efficiency is what we'll be going through again and again during this webinar, but that's the end result that we want to achieve. That you should be using less time to process a large amount of data and make a sense out of it. So with that, I think I'll hand over to Aaquib. You can go ahead and share how we can do that from Excel here.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Captain Vineet. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining today. Let's talk about Excel and Power BI. Benefits of Excel. You could see the words written. I think the very basic ask from corporate nowadays is understanding of Excel, because that is like every other role requires it. When I joined my first job, I was going through some of the desks. I was meeting a friend in HR. I was like, "What are you doing?" "I'm updating Excel." And I went to a guy in finance, and I saw he is also working on Excel. And I stopped for a thought. I was like, "Oh my God, I was engineer." So I joined as an engineer. I was like, I thought it will be just me using Excel, and realized everybody is using Excel. So almost 750 million currently corporate employees, they use Excel for their different roles. Because it's versatile, ease of use, you can customize it the way you want, flexible, 100% flexible, and its compatibility in Microsoft universe. Everybody is using Microsoft Outlook, Teams, and different tools. These two, Excel and Power BI, they also come through Microsoft, so it becomes very easy to come and becomes very compatible. Now, automation is something which comes in Excel as well, wherein you do macros, you build VBA coding, and it also comes in Power BI, wherein you can automate a lot of stuff. Power BI, on the other hand, will dive deeper a little bit as well, wherein it's more of visualization, it's more of building interactive dashboards, things which can be subscribed, so you don't have to work. You just connect the source with the data and you get a report every morning. So let me share my screen now and show you a use case of Excel. And before that, I'll also share few Excel related stuff. Hope my screen too is visible. If I get a quick yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Excel Supremacy. What is that one tool which unites all rules and responsibilities in the world? You don't have to answer, Excel Supremacy. If one wants to excel in their career and do something big, if you want to stay ahead of the curve, this is very basic. This is foundation of everything that we are doing. And the whole course that is designed, it sits at the intersection of cutting edge technologies and maritime practical knowledge. We combine both of these and try to upgrade our skills, get into the roles as Captain Vineet, Captain Gaurav spoke about, Captain John spoke about. Let me move to the next slide. Lord Excel for a reason. All other tools that you have, they all bow down to Excel, because whatever you do, you get data in Excel, and then you connect to a lot of these tools and convert it into BI, Metabase, put it in notebook, but your Excel remains the base, and that's how things move forward. So if we understand this, life becomes really easy. You become very efficient in the job you do, and then you get recognized for it. Microsoft Excel is like biryani. Like, we all eat biryanis. It's like uniting the whole country. You go to any part of the country, of course, they'll have Kolkata biryani, Hyderabadi biryani, but it remains the same. It's go-to tool for organizing, analyzing, and presenting data over 3 decades now. Universal adoption, unmatched flexibility, seamless integration, accessible power. I think these are very key stuff that Excel provides you. 85% of analysts, they still use Excel. 80% of business decisions are still taken in Excel, not in bigger tools. Companies, they all rely heavily on Excel for core operations. So almost 90% of business integration. As you can read, data sources, Excel processing, advanced BI tools, business decision. We are talking about Excel processing, cleaning, validation, transformation, initial analysis, also data sources. It's very easy to plug in data in Excel. Open a spreadsheet, start putting in. Now let me show you Excel very high level summarization that we've done. Hope my screen is zoomed enough for you to see. Awesome. So this is basic data available on fuel consumption, lubricant oil consumption in a ship, fresh water produced, fresh water consumed. And this kind of data you might see, the technical superintendent would have to update this every morning. Do I get any insight by looking at it? Yes, if I start looking cell by cell, I might get certain insight. But what if I build a dashboard like this and connect it to that data? Everything is very visual. Now I can see on 2nd September, on 31st August, my consumption of fresh water was way more than production. By looking at these graphs, we can make out what is happening in your ship, in your business. HFO consumption went very low during these 2-3 days. Vessel might be holding on somewhere. They might not be traveling. Similarly, on 20th to 22nd September, remaining time it is stagnant. Similarly, on different lubricant oil consumption, how it is moving in. So I just created these charts, these tables, to see how much fresh water consumed versus produced, and you can easily take some insight and make your business decision. Let me take you to another data sheet. I have this data sheet, which is of ship type, route type, engine type, distance traveled, weight, tonnage, and all. We've created a very small summary. It's not a big. It just took 10 minutes for me to create this, and after the course, I hope you will also be able to do. But look at this. Total weight tonnage that we have done in this data is around 2.8 million. Now, if I had to just look at this data, sum it up, we have taken some time, right? But just that we have created something like this, used Excel technology of pivot charts. Now we know how the fuel consumptions in different engine type is. Diesel engine is taking 33%, heavy fuel oil is 31%, steam turbine is 31%. So this is one of the use cases. As I move forward, we'll also talk about Power BI, but let me stop sharing my screen. Over to you, Disha.
Thank you, Aaquib. Thank you. And while Disha is sharing the screen, I'll request Jayshree to please come in and let us understand about the Excel course, how will conducting this and how it will be covering various topics. Jayshree, please.
Sure. Thank you so much. Very good afternoon to all. I hope I'm loud and clear to all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you. Well, I guess the webinar is going one way. Audience, if you have any queries, questions, anything in your mind in between, you can drop the message in the chat box. You're free to do that. I'm amazed with the output which Aaquib have created. I guess even you all will agree that when you get a text data, it really becomes challenging for us to read, understand, analyze. We actually cannot even imagine about analysis, because when we say analysis, we need some type of graph. Maybe somewhere in the poll, I have checked that many of you are saying that we are using the workbooks which are prepared by someone else. Very good. At least you know that these are the outcomes. You're not aware right now how to build them, but then you're using them. The point is, if you create the one, then you really know how to play with that better. You know what type of automation you can add to that, what more flavors you can add to that. And the more flavors, the more techniques you add, the more amazing outputs you'll be getting. And I can say that if you really focus on this tool, as rightly said by all the panelists, that if you really focus on the tool, it will take you to a different level. And if you start enjoying reading the data, analyzing the data, you yourself will realize after 6 months or an year that where you were and now where are you? How amazing outputs you are creating. But then, obviously, as a trainer, nobody can help you with learning everything. So we just have analyzed few of the topics which we feel as a maritime users you may be needing. And I'm just helping you with understanding what are the different contents you will be learning during the training. We'll start with, though maybe few of you are aware of the concepts, but then for me, if you ask, Jayshree, do you know basic of Excel? I'll say yes. Even if I ask you, you'll say yes. But then if I go with the questions, chalo, gives answer for this. Maybe few of you won't be able to answer, because the definition of basic will keep on varying for everyone. So we'll start with very simple thing. We'll start with formulas like sum, average, min, max. While we are working on these formulas, we'll be focusing on one very special term that is called as table in Excel, so that you know how you can give more automations to your working. And then we'll move for the next content, that is referencing. I'm in love with using Excel with my keyboard. I rarely do go with my mouse, hardly one or two locations where I know that I have to use mouse. Otherwise, I go with keyboard. So you'll be even getting up an idea on how to use your keyboard smartly. Because if you go with that quickly, you can get your answers way better. In fact, when you are working on records which are 1,000+, you really cannot imagine by going with your mouse and selecting or dragging. You should know the shortcut keys which can help you to do that work. So we'll be covering up those shortcut keys, the navigation keys. We'll be understanding how to write logical formulas. I'm surprised, in fact, that sometimes when I go to industry for trainings and I give them some tasks, this is how I go for. I give them the task. This is my case study. Can you help me with solving? And they do the things. They know how to get the result, but they don't know the correct technique of getting the result. So they do go manually. They read the data, they filter the data, they count that data manually by sitting or checking the status bar. And then I'm like, really, you're doing your work like this? Why don't you go for automations? You can simply use logical formulas like if with and, if with or, and get a dynamic output. The basic advantage of writing formulas will be what? If there is any change in your input, your outputs will change. And that's what we want, guys. We don't want to invest our time in redoing the work. We are always going to get, after a week, after a month, there will be something new in our data set. So we don't want to redo the thing, filter it again and now count, sort that again and then count. No. So we want automation. So you'll be understanding how logical formulas will help you to get those automations. And then the amazing functionality called as conditional formatting. What is that? By the name, you can guess. It means like if I want to show something, this is danger. The values are going below some percentage. Highlight them with red. That's what I can do with conditional formatting. I don't need to again go for selecting each cell and say highlight this with red. No, what I want, if the value of a cell goes below 20, I want to highlight that with red color. If it goes above 80, that's good thing for me. I want to highlight that with green color. Or there are lots of examples inside conditional formatting, which we'll be covering. That will be roughly our plan for day one. But then there is always plus and minus because it depends on the audience. If you have more questions, we may not be able to cover everything. Or if you are good enough to go within proper speed, we'll cover even the next session. That is, in session number 2, we have planned the concept of data cleaning. We are rarely going to get a data which is just perfect. This is a clean data. Start taking this data and do your analysis. Your first step will be always to make that data correct, to prepare it. So that preparation will be learned by us in the part called as data cleaning. After the data cleaning, we'll understand how we can do the counting or averaging of the data, but then based on criterias. We'll be covering both the single criterias or even the multiple criterias. And as you'll be writing up this, we'll be covering again an amazing functionality you have in Excel, which is just ignored by many, called as name manager. Name your data because when you name them, it becomes easy for you to call them whenever you want. So after you're done with this technique, you'll understand, okay, I don't need to go from my location, select the data and then come back. I can just sit at my pace and call the name and the data will come on my screen quickly. So we'll cover that and the concept of validation so that you can restrict that in this particular area, this particular type of inputs are allowed. The benefit of this is if you're preparing a sheet for someone else to do the data entry, in that case, you have given them restriction that this particular column expect values from 0 to 50 only, or it cannot have any negative values, or it should have only numericals, or it can have only dates in between these two values. So how to give those data validations and then how to handle those errors also, we'll be covering up that. I guess somewhere around, Aaquib will also help us in understanding how this learning concepts can be used at the data set which is more relevant to you. Because when I go with the training, I'll use a very generalized data which everyone can understand. A sales data, a profit report, a customer input, which everyone can easily understand. But then to give a flavor of maritime, Aaquib will help us to know that better. But then at every point, every day, you'll be getting some assignments. The only logic is you have learned something. You need to apply those techniques. When you apply, you learn them better. In fact, you can go out of the way and find out some new, better solutions, which we even didn't expect it. So some assignments will be always there for you. Can you move for the next slide, please? So that is our day 1 and day 2. Day 3 will be covering up the concept of how to break your data into multiple columns, because sometimes when I pull a data from a text file, everything comes to me in one single column. And now I cannot analyze that data. So I'll have to split that into multiple columns and then only I can go with the analysis. So we'll be covering that. We'll be covering some simple techniques of how date formulas can be helpful for us to get some network days or even to get some month or year valuations. And then the amazing topic, which I guess either we are aware of that or we are not, but then we know that VLOOKUP is one of the functionality which we should be knowing, right? But then it's not just VLOOKUP nowadays. The scenes have been changed now. So no more VLOOKUP, but then we'll check VLOOKUP and we'll go for a new flavor that is called as index with match. And it depends, like I will be using 365. So I'm always going to touch few of the formulas, functionalities which are available in 365 that help us to make our task much easier. Like there will be a function called as XLOOKUP will be covering up. And then on the screens, we do get errors lot of time to how to handle those errors. Even that will be understanding. That will be our day 3. That is session number 3. And in session number 4, we'll be understanding the concept of the one which we just not checked, how to build your dashboards. So when you have a larger data set, how to summarize that data and then give a graphical view to the same, how to have dashboards, how to connect slicers, how to have timelines over there, how to use get pivot functionality. All those parts will be covered at our session number 4. That's what we have planned. And again, at every place, you will get assignments, some exercise to work on. And we are always there to help you out with props or caution queries you have. That's all from my side. I guess I've given you a pretty good understanding on what all concepts you'll be learning up in this four sessions of Excel. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Jayshree, for giving us a run through of all the topics that we'll be covering. Of course, and I've personally gone through this full session with you, and I can vouch for that. And to make it interesting, I think we will have Aaquib also chipping in with bringing it a maritime flavor. But as you said, rightly said, that to understand the basic functions first, to understand the formulas, the VLOOKUP and all these filters. So we need to have large amount of data, which we will be using from various sources, and then we can tailor-made customize it for the other session, which will be having a maritime flavor. So we'll have both the data sets which will be available for the participants as well as the assignments. And we expect that whatever is being taught during the day, we can go through, because then only you will be able to match up to the course curriculum and the speed with which Jayshree will be going about, and use it more and more in your day-to-day life. It has to become your muscle memory. Like she said, use more of your keyboard instead of your mouse. That's not a normal habit that we have. We always reach out for the mouse to even click on a single cell. And suppose if you have 1,000 rows of data, you keep on scrolling, it will not help out. But like Jayshree showed us, by a single stroke of two keys, you can get to the end of the table, and that's where you will save time. You will work efficiently. So yeah, Disha, can you go to the next one, please? Thank you very much, Jayshree. Thank you for taking us through this. Right. So here, practical applications, as there are a few questions from Captain Gogia, I suppose here. So we will let the participants have an understanding of various use cases, how a presentation or a data set on an Excel sheet can be used. Like, it's a very simple example I will give here, because there is a question, latitude and longitude. People who are from deck side on the shipping, they will know that when you get this data from say GPS, if you download data from GPS or from Mary, one of the websites for AIS, then you get latitude and longitude merged together, and you have to separate it out. I have been doing this as a marine superintendent in my initial role. I have to manually separate it out column by column, because nobody taught me, and later on I when you go through hundred of rows, it is a very cumbersome job. Whereas by using a simple Excel formula, it can be divided and put into subsequent rows of latitudes and longitudes. It hardly takes say 5 to 10 seconds. That is where it will help us out to understand how to use these shortcuts, these formulas to either combine or to remove them to different columns, to different rows. This is the course which is all about. So I think next I'll request Aaquib to come in here and take us through what we'll be learning through Power BI, because of course Excel is the basic, I can say the foundation, but then we can build it up to have more robust solutions, visual solutions in mode of Power BI. So Aaquib, over to you, please.
Thank you so much. I'll take screen again, Disha. So just a moment before we move on to my screen. Why Power BI for data analytics? There is this Gartner survey which has been conducted every year. It looks at the way people use all the tool, and then they create this magic quadrant. And if you could see the leaders quadrant, Microsoft is on top, and it is on top for last 18 years. very happy to see that the niche player, you have Zoho coming in, which is an Indian tool, but it's far behind. You have Salesforce Tableau, which is little low, but overall, the supremacy of Power BI remains on top. Reason being, as I talked about compatibility, flexibility, Microsoft ecosystem, ease, and there is much more to Power BI. And let me share my screen to talk about Power BI and dive deeper into this. Power BI for mariners, right? So it is like an advanced business intelligence business intelligence platform. We have an Excel. We already spoke about Excel. It allows you to do a little bit of understanding, but the moment you want to get into advanced intelligence, you have to come back to a tool which allows you to visualize and interpret data at a large scale. So this is something which is at large scale. It will bridge the gap between raw data and create actionable insight through interactive dashboards and reports which can be subscribed. As I spoke about Gartner, McKinsey, all these consulting firms, they still put Microsoft Power BI on top. It is the most widely adopted BI tool globally, not just in India. Moving on, the global standard of data visualization. It is Power BI is praised for its integration with Excel because it's pretty easy to connect Excel with a Power BI. Ease of use, enterprise grade capabilities. It has this freemium service. We'll speak more on the training on how freemium services work. So it's like for some users, it will be all free. So if you have 100 employees, 90 employees will have free Power BI. 10 users who are developers, they will have to just pay a nominal amount. So that is a really good thing. It supports automation. It supports real-time updates. You can have interactive visuals, and you can make data mining or data analysis effortless through Power BI. You can see enterprise analytics, ease of use, integration, and all this stuff. Moving on. Where does Power BI sit in the whole ecosystem? So you have data collection tools like an Excel spreadsheet is a data collection source. You can have a SQL database, you can have ERP system, you have IoT sensor, you have vessel telematics. As Captain John Bosco was talking about weather condition data, a lot of operational data of vessel. Data is getting collected, but how do we use this data? How do we make an insight of this data to make the right decisions? That's where cloud integration and visualization comes. You take all the data, put it a place, store it together, and then bring it to a tool which can transform this data into interactive dashboards and reports. Within a company, you cannot keep creating websites, right? You cannot have 10, 15 different websites with a different stuff. Power BI allows you to create reports as much as you want and circulate it within your team. Of course, analytics is the key of everything. And all of it allows you to drive operational excellence in your company. Speaking from my experience, we had a lot of wastage in my second organization. We had a lot of wastages happening. And when I reach out to stakeholders, one blames to other. And you would not be able to catch hold of people because you're not utilizing the data. So what I did, I started creating a lot of websites to create the visibility. We created visibility of all the issues which were there, a report on waste, a report on pilferage, or report on something like that. We dive deeper into segments, the max segments that we can, and then we went to business that these are the reports. It can help you find out real issues. What is it causing the wastage? What is it that bringing inefficiency in the system? And with evidence-based reporting, we were able to track and bring efficiency in our system. So that's how Power BI is used in an ecosystem, and also share a Power BI dashboard which we have created. But key integration, Excel, SQL, Azure Data Lake, SAP and Oracle, lot of APIs currently. In maritime, I think Captain Gaurav also spoke about vessel performance manager, right? Fleet maintenance, scheduling platform, crew management databases. Now port also has their own logistics firm. So we can use Power BI in a lot of different maritime business. Now, how does it transform career in maritime? We've spoken already a lot: voyage performance, maintenance intelligence, cost management, crew analytics. Now, let me share a Power BI which we created. So this data set was of a marine accident, and we have created this beautiful dashboard. And you might see it is just a report, but everything is interactive. So I just want to see for first 5 months, everything will change accordingly. I only want to see what is happening in serious bucket. Things will change. Within serious, I want to see what is just fire. So in fire, very serious cases are also there. What was the trend for fire incidents? It was high in 2015. Imagine if we just had that data, will we be able to get these insights easily? It'll take some time, but just because of Power BI created this, it allows you to get insight in a fraction of second, and we can automate this to make it faster. Similar to that, we also created one more. So let me just take my screen back and go through the course curriculum that we have in Power BI. I would request Disha to share screen again. Okay. Moving on. So we have 2 sessions of Power BI, 2 hours each. The first session, of course, we start with basics, introduction of what Power BI is, how can one install in this system, talk about Power BI interface and canvas setting. Then we go on and tell you how do you connect data into Power BI. So kind of data connectors that we have. How does Power Query work? Power Query is an low scale ETL tool. It really works well for extract, transform, and load operation. So you would see there are a lot of tools only doing ETL, but Power BI has this combination of ETL plus visualization. So that is why they are the leader. Data categories. We will also talk about hierarchies and how do you and create a rolling calendar. You do math calculation. Then we will go into DAX. We'll learn more what DAX is, and it might look like language, but it is pretty simple language. If you're gone through Jayshree ma'am's training on Excel, you'll find a lot of similarities on how the formulas work in Excel and how they work in DAX. We'll talk about what is the difference between columns versus measures, and then we try to create relationship in model view. While we do all of it, we will have a data set given to you for a practice, and we'll have a hands-on done as well parallelly so that you don't lose out just on trainings. Going to session 2. Disha. This is where we start creating a report. The one I've shared in the screen, right? Marine accident file. Similar to that, we'll create a Power BI report. We'll learn how formatting works here, filtering works, how do you create charts, how do you create what if parameters, and customs visual. We'll also talk about AI application in Power BI. How can you use Chat GPT to write formulas, write DAX expression? You don't have to learn everything. You can utilize some of the AI tools to do your Power BI stuff. And then we'll talk about data refreshing and how do you share report while keeping the security alive, and some of the best practices in Power BI. So the whole course, of course, it is packaged in 4 hours, but it'll take more hours from you. You will be working on certain data set that we'll share, and we'll have a session wherein you present your own dashboard. And by that time, you'll have good hands-on, and you're no more novice in Power BI world. So I wish you luck and hand over back to Captain Vineet.
Yeah, thanks, Aaquib. In the meantime, there are too many terms that you used. So let's see how well people are familiar with, say, DAX or similar topics. So there is a poll just because so far the audience has been listening for quite some long time. So let's see what's the understanding of Power BI with them, or how many of them have used, because I've seen a lot of companies have started using Power BI dashboards, and we did a training with one of the shipping companies, Damico, and they have used this training for getting their executives, their superintendents up to the par with the using of this, and making very useful dashboards for their day-to-day activities, for making a KPI or a say incident analysis dashboard. So whatever you are using in your daily office job, you can get that to look at that dashboard in one glance every day in the morning during your meetings, and get a understanding of what has been happening for say last 1 week or 1 month in your fleet of vessels or on your vessel in particular. And you don't have to go through the entire table to make sense of out of it. So we see the poll, most of them, I think 66%. I'll end the poll and share the result for all to understand. So it's, I think, the other way around with Excel. Excel, people are still familiar at basic stage or say intermediate stage, but here if we say Power BI, very limited users, as we can see here. So 66% I can say never used, and 11% even never heard. A few of us have seen or used it a couple of times. So this is where I think this trainings are focused to provide a bridge between what is being required in the industry and what is being asked from the candidates. Uh, because as every one of us, our panelists have said, and I think we have some of the audience also asking, how will we make use of this in your maritime day-to-day life? So that's where I think the whole presentation was about. Disha, can you go to the next one, please? Okay, so just to add what Aaquib has said, that this Power BI session, this may seem that this is only for 2 hour session, but believe me, when we start giving you assignments, there will be much more work involved by you putting your efforts there, making those dashboards for us to review again and again, and this will also be including question answer and the troubleshooting sessions during the week. We normally get to understand from the candidates what is the apparent time which they will be comfortable. So and normally these courses are run on Saturdays and Sundays, but this troubleshooting and the question answer or say problem solving thing can be arranged 1 hour sessions in between also. And then after the end of the course for Power BI, we'll ask you to make those presentations like the simple dashboard what Aaquib has shown. I will not say that sounds simple, but for him it was simple. But to get something out of that sort, uh, we expect you to make that, and it will give you a sense of achievement also. I mean, at the end of the course, there should be something which you can say that I have built upon during the last 2 weeks or last 4 weeks, and that is what we aim for this course. So, Disha, can you share the testimonials here first? Uh, okay, in the meantime, Gaurav, since you are here, you have anything to add up?
Yeah, no, I think we've conducted probably about 6 odd batches, and I've actually seen the transformation coming through in the people, and I don't think we have the final dashboard which the presenters, which the trainees have made after the BI course. But if we show you that, I think that's a, I mean, this is what you will be able to make in probably the next 6 weeks once you start the course. So maybe I'll try and dig up that and show you, but that's essentially your where you would be in 6 weeks down the line. Over to you, Vineet.
Okay. Right, Vishal, can you please hold on? You just go down to the next page. So we do these trainings for companies also. So in the audience, I've seen that there are some people from senior people from various companies. So we can customize these courses to be delivered at the office premises also for a particular set of people, customized within your data set that is being provided by company to make it more specific to your organization. And for the candidates who are looking to join this course, we will be providing the test cases also, the data which you'll be working on for both Excel as well as for the BI course. So you will get a lot of data, and you will be getting a lot of practice also during the class also, as well as after the class. I remember Jayshree ma'am, she takes the time to look after each error code that is being developed when we are putting in the formulas. So we look at a lot of errors during when we are just learning, and she goes to each candidate to understand where we have made the mistake, and how we can overcome that and solve that error in the Excel sheets. Same goes for Aaquib also. So that's where I think we know that uh, we are in very good hands with these two trainers. So right, okay, I think Gaurav, you got the testimonials here.
Yeah, I think there's some glitch in Disha's computer. So just wanted to basically share that the last participants. We've got Melvin, who didn't come for this webinar, but he's a fleet manager who attended our course, and he was fairly happy with this, and he started using. But most important, one of our better testimonials has been with D'Amico. About 33 odd people from different departments actually enrolled for this course. They were from HACQ, purchase, technical, and I think a couple from finance as well, who had enrolled, and they are still using the learnings from this course in different ways. And actually now they're going to use they're going for another enhanced training after Excel BI, what they could do. So we are in discussion with them, but and of course then we've got Gunjit, we've got Heather. Heather is placed in a British company with office in India. He's working in I guess a vessel performance or a vessel analyst role. He's been there for about a year and a half. Gunjit took this course. He was fairly happy. Ankit also took the course. So they were, I guess, junior officers when they took the course. Ankit is probably still sailing, and he's become a senior or a management officer. So that's essentially the testimonials which we've got from different people as well.
Okay. Let me just take one quick poll here and to understand the interest in this course. So I'll request the participants to please respond to this to make a sense of how the audience has found the details from the course, and then we can of course connect with you and share the better details about the course. So this course is starting. I think I have seen a few questions. The course will be starting from 25th of October, uh, and mostly it is being done on Saturdays and Sundays, starting from 10:30 onwards. Disha, can you put on the slide for the course details, please? Right, you're there. Yeah, just please go to the next one. Yeah. So if you can see, the Excel is run for say 2 weeks, 2 Saturdays, 2 Sundays, with both Jayshree taking the main part, and then Aaquib will chip in here to provide you with the working solutions for marine data sets. And then for the next Saturdays and Sunday, Power BI will be there, and then there will be a doubt clearing session also for Power BI as well as for Excel, and then there is a presentation session where you will be presenting the dashboard that you have made out of the entire training, and present it to us to give you a sense of achievement out of this course. So this is what we have for now, and I will just share the results. So say almost say half of you has saying that maybe, and say 30% are saying yes, you are interested. So I'll share the results. It's an encouraging response for us, and there is always this effort to bridge this gap, as I keep on saying again and again, to make the people who have been sailing, to make them more proficient in the requirement that we keep on seeing from the recruiters day in day out, through our company, or through our discussions. And Captain John Bosco is also there. He has been a person who has been into innovations, digital solutions. So he knows that these basic requirements of knowing uh, Power BI, Excel, Microsoft Office is deemed to be a inherent thing, that you are supposed to know this without fail. So this is where I think we can help you out, and help you achieve your goal, whether you want to make it more useful during your sea time, or whether you want to switch ashore and use it in your shore role. So this is something which will be helpful in like Aaquib said, that this is being used in finance, this is being used in engineering, and this is being also used in marine technical. So in all your roles, it will be uh, used. So I'll stop sharing, and I'll go back. Right. So I think we can open up for the Q&A, and I think we have a few questions, which some of them have been answered earlier. Thank you, Captain Gogia. I'll say once again. So we have Captain Gogia here with us, who is joining. He's very senior trainer who has been with us for ICS chapter of Mumbai. Thank you, sir, for joining in, and we thank you to all the participants here. I am looking for more questions if possible. Uh, So when does the actual course on Excel start? I think we've responded to that. The course fees and the coupon codes, the discount codes are already there in the chat box. You can look for them. And do I need to have additional software for BI? So as Aaquib has already replied, we will just help you and make you understand that how you can install Power BI on your day-to-day, what the desktop that you're using. Does it need admin right? No, I don't think so. Of course, organizations may have limited the use of Power BI, so that we have to see how we can use, or use some other machine for this course. Uh, we don't need to register for desktop only. We need to publish. Okay. any certificate for the course, yeah, we'll be providing the certificate for the course for both the courses. For Power BI as well as for Excel, it will be given from C and beyond. And see, instead of say the certificate, the proficiency that you'll gain the self confidence itself. When I say you'll come to know whether you have gained something out of this course on your own. When you see the Excel sheet in front of you and you are using only your keyboard, not touching your mouse, that itself says a lot about how much you have gained out of this course. But then I'll take the comments from Captain John Bosco here again. So if you can chip in, please.
Yeah, Vineet, thanks. And I mean, I don't have much to add. Actually, you actually covered everything.
I'll probably chip in a couple of points on the certification over here. So two things more. The certificate you can share on your LinkedIn as well. So basically, it shows on your timeline. So if anyone is searching for you, that comes through. That we have an integration with LinkedIn, and that's the reason why you would be able to share. Number two is that you can also add the project which you have done in your CV. So, we give you some homework and then you have to present your dashboard at the end of it. And honestly, the dashboards which you saw, which Bosco, which Aaquib had made, those are the level that you will also be able to make. So you can put it in your CV that you've built this, and also add it in your project section on LinkedIn. So that's how you will be able to showcase your credentials across different companies.
We have a question from Mayank. Will recording will be available? So yeah, those who are joining this course, you will have access for the recording of the class, because then you can go back and see what has been taught during the class, and then again use it for practice. And these recordings are available for a certain period of time, say 6 months or 1 year, depending on the course. But they will be available for revisiting the course content. Can I continue doing this course while being on board ship? Of course, I think we have good connectivity these days, and we have some of the candidates who have joined in the earlier courses from the vessel. That of course depends on the connectivity, the bandwidth that is being provided. But I don't see any problem if you have that net connectivity with your vessel. I'll just take the last poll here before I complete this, to understand if the people who have joined the webinar have your expectations been fulfilled with this webinar, and was the session useful for you. So we look for the feedback from you, and any other comments to improve the master class for this Excel, Power BI, or any particular topic that you're looking for to be covered during this the upcoming course. We will always we are open for feedback and improvement. And then while this poll is going on, I'll take this time to thank Captain John Bosco here, and Jayshree, Aaquib, for being here, helping us with the webinar, to understand the content, to understand the usefulness of the content, and helping us through this webinar. Thank you very much, and again, thank you to all the participants who have been patiently listening to us through the webinar, and we hope we will be able to help you out in making the improvement out of this topics of Excel, Power BI, integrating them into your daily life, daily work in your office, as well as your personal agenda. Right, Gaurav? Anything else from your side?
No, Vineet, I think that's pretty much it. Just wanted to thank Captain Bosco, Aaquib, Jayshree, thank you so much for your time and providing those insights. And of course, to all the participants who've come and spent their Saturday afternoon with us. So really appreciate all that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, all.
Thank you.
Thank you so
everyone.
much, and hope
Thank you.
to see you in the classes. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.